Lord help us, we got another Bill Maher segment. So Bill Maher went on Megyn Kelly's show, and they're going to get into a heated debate here about a number of issues involving the election and Democrats and Republicans. And you guys know I've really been going after Bill Maher a lot lately. I'm actually curious who I'm going to agree with more on this, since nominally I do agree more with Bill Maher than I do Megyn Kelly. So let's see if that actually holds true in this interaction.
Well, in part, it's a diagnosis of what's going on with us right now. And in part, to me, it picks up on something you said to me shortly before I came on your show after my own cancellation at NBC. And you said, you seem to me, privately, you said, you seem to me kind of like me right now, which is somebody without a political home. And I felt that way. And I still feel that way. I mean, I've been a registered independent forever, but I know exactly what you're saying. Just the world's lost its mind. And I
can't. I really, this like jerking yourself off. I've seen this from so many commentators. Like, fucking spare me. Spare me your fake heroics of like, who, me, bro? Nobody's like me. Nobody understands me. I don't even have a political home, bro. Like, shut up. Megyn Kelly, you are very, very traditionally associated with the Republican Party. Period. Trump even said in a rally recently, like, Megyn Kelly, now her job is to pretend that she still likes me to keep relevance. That's exactly right. Like, your listeners are overwhelmingly right-wing. Right? Yeah, you buck the narrative on some things. Like, I don't think she thinks the election is stolen, right? But like, okay, congratulations. There's 2 or 3 things where you disagree with the mob, with the cult on the right. You're not a hero, okay? So you very traditionally have Republican fans. Trump fans, even. Bill Maher, spare me. You are the classic establishment Democrat supporter and enlightened centrist, right? Biden is your cup of tea, period. Like, that's not... You are the status quo. Both of you are the status quo. The idea that you're I'm an above the fray thinker here, bro. I'm an outside the box thinker. No, you're not. Stop with the I don't even have a home because I'm so special. Shut up. I hate this shit.
They would never put on somebody's team jersey anymore.
Right, without a team.
Yep.
Right. And you know what? I like it that way because I don't want to be a part of it.
Your team is establishment Democrats, Bill Maher, and your team is Republicans, Megyn Kelly. That's what it is. That's what it is. You're not special. You're not special.
I mean, I would say I caucus with the Democrats more. I definitely think the right wing is much more dangerous. They don't believe in democracy anymore, and they threw their lot in with a sociopath named Donald Trump. So, you know, no, he's not.
No, I just okay. I want to talk about your feelings on Trump.
Yeah, well, there you go.
But this is how, so you and I are very similar. I feel like you're kind of a 4 and I'm a 6 on the ideological scale. We have a lot of overlap, but you're definitely still going to vote Democrat, and I'm definitely going to vote Republican. But there's enough commonality to make us shake our heads yes when the other one speaks a lot.
So you're going to vote for Trump?
I am going to vote for Trump, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I can't even understand that. And I understand that Biden is deeply flawed, but he does believe in our way of life. And, you know, I mean, I was the one who was saying from the very beginning when everyone was laughing at me that Donald Trump will never give up power. And he didn't. He still hasn't conceded the last election. I don't know what could possibly be more fundamental to you or anyone than you have to concede elections. And he hasn't conceded the last one. He's plainly not going to concede this one. He now has all of his sycophants around him parroting his party line, which is when they ask them, will you abide by the election results? Yes, if it's a free and fair election, which is another way of saying if we win. You really think this is a place this country should be?
I'm not going to defend the election denialism. I'm not one of those people who believes that.
What's more important? What kind of country do we have?
How about my daughter not going into a locker room and seeing a man's penis?
That's important.
As if that's some sort of epidemic. Like, today, we have another 7,000 instances of a young girl walking into a locker room and seeing Dave Jenkins' dick, 47-year-old man, saying he's a woman. Like, she said that so confidently, as if it was like such a fucking chess move there, like such a debate ender. How about that, bro? The idea that that's happening, like that shit is not happening. Maybe you could find a handful of instances, and I guarantee you, in those instances, they arrested the motherfucker, right? But really what this is like a sly anti-trans type, like, this is the real issue facing the country, bro. Trans people are gross. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what she's doing. Come on, man. Come on. This is so sad. This is so pathetic.
That's important, too. And
How about young men on college campuses getting due process?
Bill Maher really repping the left position. Yeah, that's important. I'm against that, too. That's not happening. Oh, my God.
When they get accused falsely of rape.
Well, I think that's a false equivalency. I think these things
Bullshit. What do you mean?
I think these things are important, but you can handle these things through the normal due process of our system. But if we lose the system itself, come on.
But we didn't.
We didn't so far.
He tried it. It failed.
Right. And now he's had 4 years to put in place people who will make it work again. I don't know if there'll be a John Rafsenberger in Georgia, a noble Republican who stood up to him. He thought last time that he could count on someone being just a Republican to do his bidding. And what he found out was that there are a lot of decent people who are Republicans, which is something I'm trying to tell the Democrats all the time. You can hate Trump. You can't hate everybody who likes him. And you certainly can't hate half the country. And Republicans is not a byword for bad people. And a lot of them stood up. I mean, even ones who I don't like very much, Mitt Romney, McConnell, obviously Liz Cheney, Chris Christie. There were Mike Pence. These are what I call as good as it gets Republicans, for the people who don't like Republicans.
That's such a bullshit view because, like, okay, his point is they were against Trump stealing the election. True. Credit where credit is due. I'm happy that they took that position. But Bill, on 99% of the actual policy issues, they are Donald Trump. They're the same person. So you can't say, what, the other stuff doesn't matter at all? No, it matters, and it matters just as much as the issue of, hey, don't steal the election. So I don't know. That's such a resistance liberal view. Like, as long as you're willing to say Trump is bad, we accept you, right? It's like the Liz Cheney thing. Liz Cheney could be anti-abortion. She could be anti-gay rights. She could be in favor of deregulation and tax cuts for the rich and every war. And it's like, well, we accept you because you don't like Trump personally. And it's like, sorry, that's not enough in my book.
Full-throatedly said Trump lost that election. Mm-hmm. No two ways about it. McConnell said it wasn't even a particularly close election.
A lot of people said it. A lot of people said it. But look, I agree with you that the majority of the Republican Party doesn't believe that. But I do think there's a difference between it was stolen, the nonsense with Dominion voting machines and all that, versus it wasn't fair. And
what wasn't fair?
Yeah, I hate this Weasley argument. It's the Vivek argument. It's like, no, it wasn't stolen in the traditional sense of stolen, but I'm trying to appease the crowd that thinks it's stolen, so I'm going to say it wasn't fair because he never got a fair shake from the media and the Hunter Biden laptop and blah, 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 blah. And it's like, if you think that sincerely would have changed the outcome, your head is up your fucking ass. It just is.
But what wasn't fair?
Okay. Well, the
How
election...
about the suppression of the Hunter Biden laptop story? Just for one.
Oh, for fuck's sake. Really?
Yeah, no, I'm with Maher on this one. It was suppressed on social media. That was bad. I literally did a segment at the time saying, this is insane. You can't do this. This is the social media companies acting in an authoritarian fashion. But you could read the articles. It was suppressed on social media. You could go directly to the New York Post article and all the other places they were covering, and you could read it. The idea that nobody even saw it is nonsense.
Then we're not as alike as you think. That's a stupid non-story. I mean, yes.
Says who? There are polls that show some...
It wasn't a nonsense. It's not a non-story. This is Bill's resistance liberalism coming out. No, it mattered. I agree with Bill that, like, the stuff about Hunter Biden's dick and the drug use and all that, like, none of that should have even been released. It's like, fuck that. Put that to the side. That's got nothing to do with the election. But there was stuff about corruption, and that's fair game for sure.
12% of the electorate says they would have changed their mind had they seen it, had they known about it.
It wasn't right. It wasn't right to suppress it, but nobody gives a fuck about Hunter Biden's
dick.
Said
nobody. You're talking about yourself. I'm telling you, there are data to show people did care. They say they would have changed their vote.
Nobody who was going to vote for Trump anyway, or Biden anyway. I mean,
it wasn't about Hunter Biden's man parts. It was about the scandal of his corruption and his dad's corruption. Bill, I used to think that Hunter Biden was a hot mess and Joe Biden was embarrassed by him but had to deal. Now I really think he was doing Joe Biden's bidding. Joe Biden is the bad guy.
Look, Joe Biden is massively corrupt, but not in the stupid way that Hunter was. The Hunter way is like, I'm going to do things that actually break the law. Joe Biden is corrupt in a way that's within the system of corruption, which we shouldn't have, but we do. So in other words, I'm going to raise money from the military-industrial complex. I'm going to raise money from Wall Street. I'm going to raise money from this billionaire, and I'm going to raise money from AIPAC. That's the kind of corrupt Joe Biden is. Now, that's bad and wrong and condemnable. But people like Megyn Kelly, they don't really want to talk about that part of it because all the Republicans do the exact same shit. So they act like the kind of corrupt Joe Biden is was the outside the lines corruption, and that's just simply not the case. Hunter Biden was the problem with the outside the lines corruption.
Addled son out there to collect money. That's what the laptop shows.
And that's more important than what I was bringing up about not abiding by election results, not respecting what always made this country great, the peaceful transference of power.
See, I don't disagree with you on that. You're not going to get me to say it was a great thing the way Trump behaved.
I don't have to get you to agree, disagree. You're obviously someone who looks at an elephant and a mouse and cannot tell which one is bigger.
I disagree. I know. That's projection by you.
This is Bill Maher saying you have to prioritize the peaceful transfer of power above all else. And I agree with that. But at the same time, there are plenty of people who just don't do that, right? And you can't act like they don't exist. They do exist. And there's a lot of Trump supporters who are like, we want a Trump dictatorship. That's terrible. That's horrible. That's wrong. It's also literally them living their values. Like, that's what they want. They want a Trump dictatorship, and they care more about deporting 15 million undocumented immigrants than they care about having a next election. I think that's the case for them. It's just a misalignment in values. And, you know, that's where his newfound, like, enlightened centrism of, like, I don't dislike a lot of these people who are voting for Trump, and it's like, reevaluate. Because I was the sympathetic one in 2015 and 2016, saying a lot of them support him for his economic populism, and it's not based in bigotry for every single one of them, and let's be reasonable, and we can win a lot back, et cetera, et cetera. But the ones who are still with him at this late date, 88 fucking criminal charges and a coup attempt later, and a totally standard establishment Republican presidency later, where he was a warmonger, he cut taxes for the rich, et cetera. If you're still defending him, I am judging you. I fucking am.
No, I mean, that's how I see you.
Well, let's talk about
why you telling me this. I mean, this is just typical right-wing talking points. The evil Hunter Biden and the evil Joe Biden. And look, do I like them? No, I don't particularly like them. I think they're very flawed.
Listen.
It's not nearly on the scale.
You're misstating my argument. You're misstating my argument. That Hunter Biden just now on the laptop was brought up as evidence of how the election was not fair. He's not a reason necessarily to not vote for Joe Biden. The reason not to vote for Joe Biden is his policies. You're not woke. He's as woke, or at least his policies are, as they come. The open
woke Joe Biden. He could barely go a day without accidentally saying a racial slur.
Bill, how could anybody vote for somebody who keeps this border open with the number of rapes and the number of
border open? Listen to these people, bro. Listen to you. None of the evidence backs up what she's saying right here. He kept in place a lot of Trump's policies on the border. He's super right-wing on the border. He's a super hardliner. He's deported more than Trump did. She doesn't know what the fuck she's talking about, because she's probably reading dumbass publications that make shit up.
And the numbers of crimes going on with these immigrants.
But again, these are the normal sorts of issues we've always had in this country that should be taken care of through the normal process we've had. You're talking about the difference between I'm talking about the difference between this and something fundamental, which is our democracy. The fact that you have to respect who wins an election, or else you don't have the kind of country we've always had before.
How about...
I mean, I feel like we keep going around the roseberry bush about this, and we're not going to make any progress, so let's stop talking about it. But,
you keep saying sort of I'm nuts because I don't see the difference between the elephant and the mouse, and I'm telling you I identify them differently than you do. Hillary Clinton, of course, is the original election denier. I'm sure you voted for her in 2016.
Well, she's not an election denier.
She absolutely was the OG election denier.
That's such bullshit. Trump did a fake elector slate to try to overthrow the election. The next morning, Hillary came out and conceded. The thing Hillary did do is she blamed everybody else for her loss. It was James Comey, it was Jill Stein, it was the FBI, it was racism, it was sexism, it was this, it was that. That's what she did. But she acknowledges she lost the election. She was an election. Nonsense. That's so not true. It's so different. Trump tried to do a fucking coup.
First of all, she came out before the sun had risen to concede the election to Trump.
And then spent the next 4 years saying he was illegitimate. He was an illegitimate president.
Okay, well, first of all, she didn't say he was an illegitimate.
Yes, she did.
You tell me exactly what she said.
She said those exact words repeatedly.
Okay. I mean, she conceded the election. Whether you're interpreting her disappointment at losing it as the same thing as Trump not conceding it, I don't know if that's where you're getting it from. But again, it's a tremendous false equivalency. You could ask Hillary Clinton right now.
He's right on this. There's no doubt he's right on this.
Who won that election? She will tell you. Donald Trump won the election.
Now she knows she has to because of what Trump has done.
She came out that night.
Please, Megyn, please.
She conceded the election.
In her dark purple suit and conceded the election.
Correct. And then spent the next 4 years trying to convince us it was not legitimate. I'm just saying, look, it's not...
Again, because she was just pointing the finger at everybody else but herself. Hillary Clinton is to blame for losing that election. She had a laundry list of a dozen things she blamed other than her. She's saying it's illegitimate, and that's, Russia helped him or whatever. Yeah, she was undermining his presidency, but she didn't say, I'm going to try to do a coup and do a fake elector slate and try to stay in power. There's a big difference.
What Trump did was far more severe. I'm not going to deny that, but don't try to tell me that Hillary Clinton wasn't an election denier, and Jamie Raskin, and a whole host of Democrats who are now in prominent positions on Capitol Hill. Doesn't make it great.
Yeah, if you want to talk, if she's referring to Russiagate, Russiagate was total bullshit. That's fair. But don't pretend, she did say Trump's thing was more severe. That's the whole point, right? Is that Trump's thing was more severe because he literally tried to do a fake elector slate in order to stay in office, even though he knows he lost.
But they don't have clean hands either. But you bypass the immigration question. I mean, like that.
I'm not bypassing it. I think it's a disaster.
How would you put this guy back in there for 4 more years to leave the doors open?
And like it was so much better under Trump.
The idea of leaving the doors open is absurd.
Yes, it was better under Trump. Are you kidding me?
Oh my God. Biden literally deported more people than Trump did. in her world, with her values, she should be saying credit to Joe Biden for deporting more than Trump did. Right? That's what she should be saying.
Oh, Bill.
It was somewhat better.
Go look up the immigration rates.
Yeah, I know.
Illegal immigration rates.
I agree.
For 2020, for 19 to 20.
I'm not defending Biden on immigration. I don't understand why it's so difficult in this country to stop people coming through the border. I don't. And I watched that 60 Minutes piece they did on it a couple of months ago, and they had films of people coming through this hole and the border patrol just watching them and basically waving. I don't understand why. I don't understand why this country can't accomplish something like that. It doesn't seem like it's impossible. But so many things in this country.
That's what's like anti-immigrant hysteria in this country is fucking wild right now, man. Immigrants are some of the best fucking people I know, some of the hardest working people I know. And there's this weird hysteria around like, oh my God, they're all MS-13 or something. It's like, what are we doing here?
Aggravating. We can accomplish it. We can stop what's happening at the southern border. We just won't under Joe Biden. And he keeps pretending like he has no agency on it, but he does have agency. There are a lot of executive orders he could do, just like Trump did. He won't. And you know why? It's because of the people who use the word Latinx, who are trying to lecture him that it's not.
It's a Latinx, not Latinx. Come on, man. What are we doing here? Jesus.
Humane to enforce our borders.
Yeah, I would agree with that. The left wing, because they're so afraid always of being called racist, they let that color every issue and very often wind up with terrible policies.
Classic. We always come full circle. What a surprise. We came full circle to, bro, isn't the left really bad? God, I can't stand these people. Anyway, I don't know. You guys score it below. I hate both Megyn Kelly and Bill Maher, who won that debate. I don't fucking know. Hey, y'all, do me a favor and like and subscribe. It helps out big time in the algorithm. Click the bell as well for notifications when videos drop, and watch that video on screen right now. You know you want to.